Saturday the 13th currently, and we're just looking at the peas. They're just coming through all the residue. Down at this bottom end, you can see why we took this field out of production. Down this bottom corner, just an absolute sea of black grass. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of heads. Just loads of wet holes. Just checking the bangers are still going to keep the pigeons off. It stays looking brilliant. Even all the way down, some signs of septoria. A few little aphids there, look. This is yet still to have a fungicide, but we'll be getting a T2 of Ascra. Still not had its full nitrogen, still missing 50 kilos and perhaps a protein dose. Oats are pushing along now quite well because of all the cultivations, they're quite weedy. A lot of fat hen and thistles in there. Also, the winter bird covers, still not drilled those yet. 13th of May at the moment, so still got a bit of time. Get a lot of fennel in this part of the field, but there is some Phacelia flowering, or just starting to flower. But no real rush. Ground temperatures are still pretty cold. They want to be nice and warm for these. Just wanted to show off the last bit of oats that we've drilled. This was right towards the end of April, and I think it's about 18 days since these were drilled, and I cannot believe how fast they've shot up. All that rain and a bit more warmth. Absolutely flying along. Back in that same section of the spring oat field now. One of the later drilled stuff. There's 3-way variety mix in here, and that is how much it's pushed on in a month. Incredible, really. Good afternoon. It is currently mid-May. We have just had another load of rain, as seems to be par for the course of this spring. And as everything is pushing on. I haven't recorded too much this month as I've just had a shoulder operation, so I'm kind of out of action. And when I am in action, I won't lie, I'm a little bit loopy because of all the drugs. But yeah, we are currently spraying our T2s at the moment as the most important spray you probably do on your wheat to protect the flag leaf from disease. Also getting some herbicides on the wheat, the first post-emergence herbicides on some of them. And yeah, finished off the fertilizer this week as well, the solid applications. We'll be doing one more foliar dose of liquid as a protein booster. So as everything has had so much rain, everything is kicking on really quick. So this is an AB8 plot, or a flower rich margins plot as part of our SFI scheme. So there are supposed to be lots of flowers in here. You see the campions, red campions down there, plantains, plenty of clovers, all sorts of bits and pieces. There's a white campion over there, but there is also some black grass coming through surprisingly, and shepherd's purse, which is a bit annoying. So in order for all the flowers to really grow and to kind of reduce the grasses a lot, we're going to hopefully get a contractor in to take a silage cut off of this. There's also some Phacelia there from a previous summer cover crop. And then we'll take a hay cut towards the end of July, early August as well. So reducing the nutrient load will mean the grass has less nutrients, and it'll also favour the flowers a lot more so they can push on. But it's come really well. It's nice and thick at the bottom, just a few too many weeds, so it's going to need a little bit of management before it gets there. Just thought I'd quickly mention, we were in a drought this time last year, and pretty much everything was dying off. We were probably about a month, maybe even 2 months into the drought last year. Everything was dying off, everything was brown, and we now have puddles in fields in mid-May. Absolutely ridiculous. Didn't manage to get the flower plots removed. The cuttings, we offered it to 2 local farmers, even for free, and we still couldn't get rid of it. So we've ended up topping it, which is still better than nothing. It's controlled all the weeds, well, mostly. Not ideal, but the Phacelia coming up in the game cover plots that have just been sprayed off annoyingly, because we have to follow prescriptions for our public goods, but absolutely alive with bees currently. Hopefully you can hear the buzzing. So we'll hopefully get these plots planted within the next 2 weeks. Something quite ironic about providing public goods in the form of winter bird feed while spraying and looking for lapwing nests in a plot that's about to be cultivated, really. So we've got our winter bird food seed here ready to go in. We buy it all in straights through Ian Gould at Oakbank. Got some milo there, which is sorghum, some Phacelia, millet. I'm not sure what that is, something from Budapest. I think it's buckwheat, but there'll also be some sunflowers in there, and then we'll mix it with some of our home saved stuff as well, a bit of vetch mustard, I think spring barley, and a few other bits and pieces. Provide feed for birds over all the winter. So there's another 12-metre winter bird food plot against the hedge there. This is next to my one of my intercropping fields. There's barley and peas just on the headland here. So we've got those 2 parts of our SFI, Arable Land Standard, the winter bird feed, the flower rich plots, and then we also have these, which are effectively grass margins. Lots of these were newly drilled after harvest this year. Some of them we've kept already. The newly drilled ones are quite weedy, so this one has been topped, so hopefully it will come back a lot better than it was, but looking really good, and the intercropping trials are currently flying. Keeping crows and pigeons off of this has been a nightmare, but we are getting there slowly. But all this warm weather and rain. We have a couple fields of permanent pasture just around the farm, and yeah, it's pushed on quite a lot. We're going to be taking a hay crop off of this, and it looks to be quite a good hay crop. Some of it's gone flat in all that rain, because we don't have any sheep on the farm anymore, but we do often get sheep into graze cover crops, and we did have sheep and lambs on this last year, but we're going to be taking a hay crop this year. Good afternoon. It is the 26th of May and we are out making some May hay. This was cut on Wednesday, which was a couple of days ago, and we're just out tedding. As you can see, once it's been thrown about, it turns from this lighter colour, exposes all that wet stuff underneath, and lets the sun and wind, wherever the sun is up there, do its job and drying it out ready for baling so it doesn't go mouldy or spoil. So we might have to ted this one more time, as it is May hay and is the earliest we've ever made hay. But we've got a break in the weather, no rain forecast, loads of sun and wind on the way, so we might as well. Most of our stuff we normally do cut a lot later, early July sort of time. We make that into larger Heston bales, 4 stringers, quadrants. But this stuff will all be going to horses, so will all be made into smaller bales known as idiot bricks, because there are lots of manual labour and they're a pain, but we'll see. We're spraying off the edges of the fields, just about half a metre, about a foot, to form a sterile strip, it's called. So you see all these grasses along the bottom, they come in from the grass margins and they get picked up by the combine and then chucked all the way into the middle of the field, and they seed and they spread out from the edges. So we're just going around all the outside of the field, just doing this on the edge. As a pretty good control measure for grass weeds. Just thought I'd highlight the value of a sterile strip. So we're at the peas currently, and at 12 metres, well actually further, about the width of the combine, believe it or not, we have got brome, and it all comes from the edge of the field. You can see right here. There it is. And I don't know whether it's not been sprayed off properly or God knows what, but if you look down here, just all the way around the edge, pretty much one width of the combine. And that's why we do our sterile strip. So we're going to have to spray off 12 metres. Well, not sure if we can do about 8, whether that will cover it all, but about 12 metres all the way around the edge. Just going to spray it off. It's not worth keeping the peas. They're only a break crop, and it's on the headland, so they're never going to perform too well. But yeah, going to have to get rid. So apart from those sections around the edges of the fields, it's not around all of it, thank God, but the peas are looking okay. Coming through a few grass weeds, if you can see, but for a break crop, it's not too bad. Oats are looking really, really, really well. Very happy with these. We've had all of their fert. Don't think they'll have a fungicide this year again. We'll have one herbicide. The only trouble is, from the stuff we planted in February, all the stuff that sat wet has really struggled to grow. Seed probably just rotted in the soil, so we have patched it in. It probably won't come to harvest, but I'd rather have something in the soil rather than keeping it bare and full of weeds. So I don't always show the good stuff, I always show the bad stuff as well. This is a second wheat in a nasty section of the field, as you can see from that tram line, and it's currently a mass of black grass. This is definitely the worst field on the farm this year. It's bloody awful. And that is a dry spring combined with a dry autumn combined with a wet spring, has led to an explosion of grass weeds this year. One crop that is looking absolutely stunning this year is the first wheat extays. Say that again.
I'll tell you what, Ben, if all our wheat looked like this, I'd be so happy. That's great, isn't it?
Bloody good. 183 kilos of N, first wheat extays. Not far off T3 now, ear fully emerged. I think one fungicide.
Yes.
And the intercropping trials are looking awesome so far. Really happy with how they're all turning out. We'll do an update video separate to them, but farm tour 9th of June with Leguminous. So if you want to have a look, come and sign up. And in the second field, also looking good. There's an annoying wet patch running through the middle, which comes from this corner, which we took out of production. But apart from that, looks really good. So I hope you've enjoyed this month's May update on the farm. Haven't quite finished that bit of hay yet, it's just been tedded again today. It'll probably be finished on Tuesday, so probably the 31st of May. Will still be May hay. All the solid applications for everything is finished. The fertiliser letters is finished for this year. Just got a little bit more foliar stuff to go on milling weights. Pretty much all herbicides finished for this year as well, and fungicides. One herbicide to go on 2 out of the 3 fields of spring peas. Game covers will be drilled, winter bird food covers will be drilled next week or so.